Huh, okay. Let me get this thing a little bit better. This is number 5. I've been trying to get this one out. This is a video that I'm calling Reconnecting with Your Autistic Traits. If you are late diagnosed, if you are on a journey of self-discovery of who your autistic self is, you might be interested in what I have to say. I'd be interested in what you have to say if you would leave comments. Um, I'm only 6 months into knowing I'm neurodiverse. And it is a profound change that I'm going through. And I have just begun. It is a process that starts off with these little points, these little dots that you go, okay, there might be something, there might be something, there might be something, there might be something. And pretty soon you start connecting present with past and start seeing tendencies. And so all of a sudden you start getting these lines that start connecting everything. And pretty soon all this information starts to build on those different areas. And it's just like this creation. It's like it's how, at least in this way I'm describing it, is how it's happening to me. And you are constantly filling in new dots and new lines and more information and more information. And you will be finding more and more traits. And it will start off something as simple as, I made reference to this in another video a while ago, and that was an autistic trait is fascination with rotation. And I remember being on a forum, like within the first few weeks, that I suspected that I might be on the spectrum, and said, does anybody know if I used to do this as a kid? It's kind of unusual, but is this an autistic trait? And that is turning bikes upside down and watching the wheels and and just the mechanism and everything. And people are like, oh, it could be, yeah, it could be. And I went to one of the websites, and I forget, it wasn't Autism Speak, but it was one like that. I went to their Asperger section, and right there on the front was a picture of a kid with his bike upside down, spinning the wheel. And I was just like, I mean, literally, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, And that was a big dot. That was more. That wasn't a little dot with the line connected. That was like a in the face, And you'll get those too. Um, and then you'll get subtle things that happen. One of them that I keep. One of them. This is my kind of. I'll dwell on this one well, but stimulatory behavior, self-stimulatory behavior. I'll tell you sort of the evolution of what I've been going through in that. I started off just remembering. It's like asking myself, do I ever remember doing anything? And it's like, yeah, I remember doing a lot of things with my fingers. I remember tapping and I think hand. I just remember, because I remember my dad saying, stop that. Now that was about the time I was diagnosed. And I say, I don't know if I've said this, but I think he was on the spectrum. His father was on the spectrum. My sister, I think, was on the spectrum. And I'm just wondering if he wasn't either corrected himself as a kid, or if he had some level knew what I was doing and didn't want, like your life's better off. Stop all that stuff. Didn't bring up that issue. Did anything else? But I'm just looking back and thinking of that. But I remember also self-stimming in class when I was nervous in school. With legs and is idiosyncratic, I guess you call it, behavior of, twirling my hair. And of course I don't have any hair anymore, but as I went through the process of examining what I used to do, I remember I was playing around, because I haven't balanced my legs in a long time that I can remember, at least. And I started doing it, and and it made me rock. And I wonder if I was rocking it. And as soon as I started to rock, I felt this stress just kind of go like a breath out. It was like, and I can do it right now. It is just, it's hard to describe. It's hard to describe. Anyway, okay. Um, well, that has been for me. I mean, it's one thing just to go, oh yeah, I remember doing that and do that. Or I was talking, I was like toe walking. I still do it. Um, and that, I guess since I've always done it, it doesn't seem that strange to me. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. That could be an autistic trait. Uh, raptor hands is another one where the way I hold my hands, I tend to, when I'm doing stuff, I'll hold up and close to me. Um, Never would have thought twice about it. I mean, if I sit here and I'm working and I'm pulling up, have my hands like this, I think it's visible. Anyway, so more dots, more lines, more information. And one of the things that I am realizing, and it's sort of it's thoughts start to emerge. I mean, I don't know where all this is going as far as what I'm going to become and everything, but it's somewhat obvious. The stimming is leading me to. I mean, that's something that if I embrace, and I do it at home, would I be comfortable doing it around family, around people, other friends that I know, all the people that are autistic? Yeah, no problem. Um, oh boy. Anyway, I'm sorry, I lost train of thought. Um, this is starting. Okay, this actually starting to happen to me in a little way right now. Uh, this is sort of my theory, and I think this is sort of coming true. As I stop denying, as I start or how do I put this? If I stop suppressing the feelings of tension. I mean, when you hold tension, you can block the feeling of tension or the feeling of anxiety. But what you end up doing is you push it someplace. And to me, I pushed it in my stomach. I had ulcers for about 11 years, from the age of 9 to 20, and the radiologists were, they were like, and I remember they were doing the back then the I want to say that photography, I want to say the X-raying of it all. It was just like click, 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 click. I just remember them just just well, off subject anyway. But uh, anyway, so now that I'm not suppressing that, I'm starting to feel something I haven't felt since I was a kid, and that is this almost this welling up of, it's almost of an excitement. And I've noticed when I'm stressed, this is the bizarre, and it's hard for me even to talk about it. Um, but hand flapping, I never ever thought this would be something that I never did it, that I ever remember doing it, but I know now that if I am really stressed, that I can do that. Because sometimes the rocking, it just isn't enough. Sometimes I'm still, but I start feeling that and I'll tell you what it reminds me of. And I do remember this when I was diagnosed ADHD, or whatever it was back then. I don't think it was ADHD, but they had me on Ritalin for, I don't know. I don't think it was long, month, maybe a couple months, maybe. I don't remember. But I can remember taking that little pill and being on the bus and just going, I mean, like, that kind of an overwhelming, like, oh, jeez. Back then, and of course, I just didn't say anything to anyone. I held everything in. I said nothing. I just experienced it and let it go in one neuron and out the other, and that was it. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. And it's going to be very interesting to see what stimming, what it plays as a part of my life, because I'm tired of being stressed out. I am very tired of that feeling. And, I'm never, well, I don't drink and I don't do drugs in order to deal with stress. As a matter of fact, if anything, exercise. Well, I will drink alcohol, but it's, you know, I don't go through bottles and bottles of alcohol. As a matter of fact, I just actually kind of started drinking beer like in the last couple months ago. And I mean, like a 12-pack will last me, I think I still have beer left, maybe close to 6 bottles. So that's not a whole lot of drinking. Anyway, uh, but it's just going to be interesting to see. And I guess my point of all this is that as you're reconnecting with your autistic traits, it's a amazing journey. What you're going to become, for me, I'm bring it on. Bring it on. Let me be me. So anyway, I hope all of you can be you. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk with you later in the next topic, whatever that is.